of the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. This is a great opportunity for our guys. They've worked really hard to get to this moment and be able to compete at this level. Some of our guys get to come home to compete in this game, which makes it even more special for those guys from the area. But at the end of the day, the Peach Bowl is going to get a group of guys who are going to play as hard as they can for 60 minutes and even a little bit longer if it's necessary. And I think that's why these guys have gone from worst to first in the conference, is because how hard we play, how passionate we are. And I'm excited to get down there.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach. Thanks, Gary. All right, so we'll go straight to Q&A. I'm just going to work my way down the list in order. Kind of make sure that you guys are spreading your questions around, so don't take a monopoly on anything. So we'll start with Mark McClune. Go ahead and lead us off.
Hey, Kenny, good to see you. Congratulations on the season. Just wanted to check with you on just the schedule going out there and going to the East Coast. How much do you kind of study how NFL teams get ready to play early body clock East Coast and what the preparation looks like for you going out there?
Well, this is a bowl game, so we'll actually be out there. We just got the schedule. I haven't looked at it yet, the exact day that we arrive. I believe it's on a Wednesday practice. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Saturday. So I believe it's 4 days early. So our body clock should be adjusted by then, and we get to, go do all the events that the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl has for us, while also preparing for a bowl game.
Robbie Baker.
Hey, Kenny, Robbie here with Fox 10. Good to see you. Congratulations on the win yesterday and getting into the playoff. Just curious what this next 3 weeks or a month can do for this football program with the national spotlight shined on you guys and what you guys are building here and how big this is to have this stage for your team.
Yeah, hopefully help recruiting. I mean, hopefully this stage and our brand being out there shows people that we can be one of the newer brands in college football. Every 10 to 15 years, a new brand shows up and a new brand becomes a national brand. And I really think Arizona State, the Pitchfork, the Sun Devil has a brand that can reach nationally. We just have to create some consistency here and win here. And I think this is the first step in creating both of those things.
And perhaps the most unsafe Zoom question ever asked. We got Jordan Hand whipping the car around. Go ahead, Jordan.
I'm in the back seat. It's a lift. Okay, we're good. Hey, Kenny, Jordan Ham, Sports 360 AZ. The next couple of weeks, how do you balance making sure guys get rest, keeping the conditioning up, and then also you have 2 teams that you can prepare for. So what goes into self-scout? How do you divvy up that preparation for those teams, or do you wait until you know exactly who you're playing?
Yeah, great question. Early this week we'll be mainly focused on, like you just alluded to, self-scout before we really know our actual opponent. Our guys this week will have off until Sunday. So they'll have, after the night's banquet, they'll have off till next Sunday. Get to go home, get to get refreshed, get their minds right. Everybody's going to tell them how good they are this week when they go home and all that stuff. And hopefully they can get that flushed out of their mind from when we come back Sunday and realize that we're still probably the worst team in this playoff, according to what everybody believes. So we still have a chip on our shoulder. And we got to find the balance in practice of getting the guys fresh / working difficult, at a high level. And I'm going to call some people that have done this before, to be honest. I haven't. And act like I have all the answers is not the truth. So why wouldn't I call somebody who's done this before? And I have a few names. I'm not going to mention them, guys. I'm going to call and ask their opinion of how they balance this out and how they were successful in their past.
Jordan Spurgeon.
Hey, Kenny, Jordan Spurgeon, also Sports 360 AZ. I guess we like Jordans over here. So this is your first chance to, as a head coach, bring in early recruits and get that extra practice in early now with these next few weeks. Is that also something that you plan on asking others how they've kind of navigated that in the past, or do you have a game plan for that for anybody that's coming early? Yeah,
that's something I've done in the past in terms of bringing guys in for bowl prep and stuff like that. So the guys, we've already been monitoring that. We kind of had that plan since we were going to be in a bowl game. That was after Christmas here for a few weeks. So we were planning on that, and we got a plan. Not everybody can do that based off of the graduation dates and stuff like that. But the guys who can will be here, and they'll start to get to work.
Cooper Burns.
Hey, Kenny, Cooper Burns, Sun Devil Daily. You've played in a Chick-fil-A event before at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, playing the Kickoff Classic against Georgia, and also, some games in the South in the SEC. What are you going to kind of tell your team about maybe playing in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and also just kind of some of the big game atmospheres down there?
Don't play the game. Play the game, not the occasion. I stole that line from Dan Lanning when I was at Oregon with him, and he probably stole it from somewhere else, right? And coaches are just a byproduct of stealing things from each other. And that was something I took from him: is play the game, not the occasion, and don't get caught up in the moment. Just one play at a time.
Cam Cox.
Hey, Kenny, congratulations. Can you just take us inside the room, the moment that it was announced where you guys were going? You're all about your players. What's it like to see them celebrate the way they have the past couple of days? And then especially last night, I know you didn't see it in person, but to see them bring that trophy inside of Sun Devil Stadium.
Oh yeah, they're fired up. I mean, wouldn't you be? Everybody counted you out. All these guys came here and they joined a team that was 3-9 back-to-back years. They joined the team. All of these guys, other than 4 guys, are brand new. So they picked to join a team that was that wasn't good at all. That there was no positive media attention around it. That had sanctions and penalties and everything, and they've completely flipped it upside down. And there's going to be real emotion that they'll carry on for the rest of their life with each other. They'll always have these moments that they'll be able to remember together. And I think that was just another one of those moments of being there to see their name picked, on national television when they were picked dead last to start. That's pretty special for them. And the best part is, they're still hungry to see how far they can take the journey and how far they can take the ride.
Vince.
Hey, Coach, Vince Delisio, Varsity Sports Show. Coach, going into the season, very reminiscent of another team that was an outright champion 28 years ago that I'm an alum of, part of the team and the staff of the 96 team. Going through that season, a lot of excitement, pulling the Valley together. How are you going to continue that momentum, not only for this game, but beyond to continue to stay at a high level?
Yeah, well, when we were putting together, when I first got here, our plan was never to win in year 2. Our plan was to win in year 3. Our plan was to sign younger transfers that we could build around for years 3, and hopefully then turn a corner with enough youth on our team that we've recruited. So because of that, 35 of the 44 guys in our 2 deep have the ability to return. So hopefully we can get back 35 of the 44 guys that have got us here. Obviously nowadays with the portal and NIL, and us not being, one of the top NIL programs in the country, there is a chance that other teams try to, come in and poach some of our guys, which is unfortunate. But I think the majority of our team wants to be here. We'll stay together, and I think you combine that with the freshmen that we've signed in the past, that'll be better. I think we have a really good building block for next year to sustain this success and not just be a flash in the pan.
Max.
Hey, Kenny, Max Pado, Walter Cronkite Sports Network. I'm also in a car as well. Bear in mind, you mentioned preparing for this week, obviously preparing for kind of like a road game kind of environment with, the Iowa State fans, the ASU fans going to be clashing. But the fact that you're going to be playing either a Clemson or Texas team that is closer to Atlanta, that will possibly have more fans in the building come game day, how are you necessarily going to prepare this team? Are you going to try to prepare it as a road game, just kind of like a traditional road game during the season, or a necessary neutral site game where it does feel different because it's a bowl game?
Yeah, I think we'll play just like we did this last week, a neutral site game. Obviously, regionally, we're playing out of our region, so you're naturally going to have more fans of the opponent. So, but we've played road games all year. We've played home games all year. So I don't think that part is going to be new. It's just going to be, how loud does it get? In my history with bowls and stuff like that, it's not as loud as, going to play on the road at, one of these teams. So it's not as hostile from that perspective. So a little bit of both.
Blake, you had another car question.
Yes, here we are. Hey, Kenny, Blake Neiman, Sun Devil Source. Transfer portal opens tomorrow. What are you trying to accomplish in the transfer portal, and how well positioned do you feel you are to accomplish it?
Yeah, I feel like guys will want to be here. I think the success we've had with the guys that have come here speaks for itself. I think the relationships we've had and built with the guys that are coming back here, and those guys hopefully not choosing to enter the portal, but choosing to stay here and continue to build this, is testament to the culture that we have. And I think that's really, what matters is the people that come here love it here. And the people who transfer here want to be here and want to stay here. And I think that says something about the guys and the relationships in today's day and age in college football. So it's going to be big. What we're looking to do is make our team better. And like I tell every person I ever sign, my job is to sign somebody better than you, point blank. And that's going to be from now till forever. If you want something guaranteed, this is not the place for you. If you want somebody to tell you the truth and be honest with you, it's a great spot. But you better not have soft feelings, because when we get in my office and we have a real conversation, it's going to be real. And I think that's what it's about. I think that's what guys need more than ever, is real conversations.
David?
Hey, Coach, David Hellman with Devils in Detail. Much has been made online about both Arizona State and Oregon being two former Pac-12 teams that went on to win their conference championship in their new year in the conference. Obviously, you were working under Dan Lanning with Oregon before coming here. What does it say about these two programs, the way that you've built Arizona State up, the way that Dan Lanning's built up Oregon, that you've both been able to have so much success in your first year in the new conference?
Yeah, I mean, Dan's one of the best coaches I've ever been around. Dan was at my wedding. Dan and his wife, Sophia. I've known Dan since I was a high school coach in Arizona. So I have so much respect for Dan, not just as a head coach, but as a football mind. His ability to go offense, defense, special teams, and be involved in all three phases is, in my opinion, really special. And then I think he's an elite motivator. For us, I don't know. Like I said, we're just trying to be the best versions of us. I don't know why the success we're having, other than these guys are special. Like, you walk into the room with these guys and they've just got a special aura about themselves, that they truly live every day with a chip on their shoulder. And I think that's what's got us to this point, is that chip on their shoulder they all live with, to push themselves to be better. And then they genuinely care about each other. Our guys, 60 guys hung out together last night when they got back in town. How often does that happen in today's day and age of social media and phones? Do 60 people go to the same place? And I think that's really our secret sauce right now, is the genuine relationships our players have with each other. You're on mute, Jeremy. I got you.
I've done this. Thanks. Jordan, I'll come back to you in a second. I'm going to go to Mike so he can ask his first question.
Yeah. Which Mike?
Yeah, you.
Great. Yeah. Ken, you kind of answered it just a second ago, but in terms of, media is always not the best prognosticators, clearly. From an X's and O's standpoint, a talent standpoint, what do you think they missed picking the Devils last?
To be honest, I don't think it was possible to not, I don't think it's fair to judge the media off where they picked us, because we had so many people unproven. So I don't know if they missed anything, because we had so many people that didn't prove themselves in college yet. The Xavier Alfreds of the world, the Scats of the world, the Sams of the world, the Ben Colemans who hadn't played in a year, the Maxi Honachors, the Justin Watleys, the Shamari Simmons. I mean, the list goes on of guys that weren't yet proven in college football, but we knew they were good and we believed in them. And or maybe they just had a bad experience, like the Clayton Smiths and the Princes, for some reason or another, why they didn't get on the field at their last school as much as they thought. But it was more, I don't know if they missed, as opposed to, I don't know if our guys / our team had proven ourselves yet to be respected. And I think it goes both ways. You have to prove yourself in order to be respected. And I think we just didn't have a lot of that proven respect yet on our team. And I think it's really hard nowadays, and it's easy to, judge people with 60 unknown dudes. That's pretty hard to do.
Patrick Brown.
Hey, Kenny, Patrick Brown with PHNX. Congratulations, first of all. Just wanted to ask you, I know you never make it about yourself, and I completely understand why, but I am curious, reflecting back on your journey through ASU and being local, if this is more meaningful to you to bring this type of excitement and to bring this program to this level.
Oh, of course. I mean, me being from here and me being a fan, growing up a fan, it definitely is super exciting to see just the Valley getting excited. I mean, when I first got here, I said, activate the Valley. And what I meant was just get the Valley back excited around Arizona State because we're one of the few college towns and college football programs that the city could actually get behind. A major city can get behind because the college football program was here before this major city was here. And I really think there's a uniqueness here uh, that if we do it right and if there's commitment from the top down and we're united, I think there's an opportunity here for us to be a name in college football, very similar to what Dabo did at Clemson, in this last 20-year cycle, how he has changed that program into one of the blue bloods. I think Arizona State has that ability if done right and if the commitment is there.
Hode Rubino.
Yeah, hi, Kenny. Hood Rubino, Devil's Digest. I know when you prepare for a bowl that's not a playoff bowl, that's a great opportunity to give younger players time to develop more reps than usual in practice. I got to believe because it is a playoff quarterfinal that your approach really is not going to be any different than it is during the regular season.
Well, we'll have a few weeks of practice where it will be young guy driven, just trying to get the vets some rest. And then we'll transition, with about 2 weeks out. It's actually like 17 days out. We'll transition into more veteran-led practices and more veteran practices to get back into shape, make sure we're in shape, hit a little bit. So the beginning will be definitely more of that traditional bowl prep, young guys, let's develop, and then it will transition into more of a bye-week setting, I would say. So we'll kind of take a bye-week approach once we get near that 2-week mark.
Colin Harmon.
Hey, Kenny, Colin Harmon, ABC 15 Sports. Curious if you could kind of walk me through the thought process and the emotions as you walked into the meeting room this morning to watch the selection show and kind of that ASU versus Boise State, who would get the 3 chances of playing in the Fiesta Bowl at ASU at home, kind of what that was like for you.
Yeah, obviously for us, I'm fired up. I know our players are fired up to play in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. I mean, I know obviously the Fiesta Bowl was at home, but we have a lot of guys on our roster from Texas. We have a lot of guys from Louisiana. We have some guys from Georgia, from Florida. So the Peach Bowl has been one of those bowls that they grew up watching, idolizing, wanting to be a part of. And for us to get selected there, those guys couldn't be more excited. The joy in the room when we were picked for that game was through the roof.
All right, we'll start taking the last couple of questions here, starting with Jordan.
Kenny, going back to the portal real quick, are there any positions that you feel like in particular that you and your staff are going to target here to try to shore up for next year?
Yeah, wide receiver. We got to get we're going to lose a lot of wideouts, so we're going to take a wideout. Offensive line, we're moving some guys around, so we're going to take a couple, 1, if not 2, offensive linemen. A running back, Scat's leaving, and Scat's pretty good. So we need to find somebody to take out some of his carries. I feel good about the guys behind Scat, but Scat's a bigger back, so we got to get another bigger back in here to replace him. On the defense, we're losing an end and a D tackle, so 1 end, 1 defensive tackle, and then probably 1 safety, depending on what happens here in the next week or so. So if anybody good like that goes in the portal, just hit us up.
All right, Cooper.
Hey, Kenny, just to follow up on kind of what you said a second ago about some of the local kids. When you guys were picked to the Peach Bowl, did you talk to Jeff Clark or kind of see his reaction since he's a local kid from Powder Springs?
Oh, yeah, he was fired up. I actually made a joke to him I'm like, you guys know we're going to the Peach Bowl in New Orleans and see if he caught it. And he's like, it ain't in New Orleans. I grew up watching this thing. This thing's in my hometown. And some of the other guys from the West Coast were joking, but he's so excited, man. I mean, this is a dream come true for some of these kids. And I think sometimes you get lost a little bit in the playoff and where you're ranked and all this other stuff. These bowl games have such great tradition. They've been around for so long, generations, that these kids grew up dreaming that they would one day walk and be in a stadium to play in the Peach Bowl, and it's everything they dreamt of. And this is a game that for these guys, it's their whole football world coming to just one moment in time, in Georgia, in the Peach Bowl, at the same moment with everybody. And it's just so special for them. And I can't wait to see how hard they play.
All right, these are going to be our last 3 questions here, guys, starting with Matthew.
Coach Matthew Jacobson, C-Tray Sports. Obviously, Scat has missed time. Jordan Tyson did not play in the conference championship. What makes you and what has made you throughout the season, next man up, made you so confident in this roster and their ability to play through adversity?
We don't make excuses. The one thing I absolutely hate is excuses. Like, we operate 5 minutes early. Like, that's the standard. I don't care if your car runs into a deer. If you're not early, you're not early. Like, it doesn't matter. Nobody in life is going to ask you why you didn't get something accomplished. They don't care. They care if you get it accomplished or you don't. And that's the real world. And are there exceptions to that? Of course. But there's no excuses in this program. I don't believe in that. It's next man up, get the job done, find a way, pour everything you got into it every single day, and repeat and repeat and repeat. And I think that's just the culture that our leadership council has created within the program. And I think the best part about our team right now on that topic is I challenged our best players that they have to work the hardest and set the highest standard. And we're only going to be as good as them. And I think those guys play the hardest, and those guys have set an identity for our program that Sun Devil Nation can be proud of.
Jordan?
Kenny, so what's it been like this last week or so, seeing Scat sort of become recognized and almost a household name in college football? Because he has this, you mentioned the word aura earlier about him, even walking into Sun Devil Stadium last year, he had the awareness of how to get to the crowd and play to both crowds and hold up the belt and the trophy and everything. He just has that sort of natural entertainer to him. What's it been like just seeing that, a lot more people are getting to experience that now?
Yeah, it's awesome for him to be able to, reap what you sow. And, people start to talk about him. He's worked so hard. He's been an underdog his whole life. Everybody's counted him out his whole life. So for him to finally, at this last stretch of his college career, people realize the special player he is pretty remarkable. And in my opinion, the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl is getting somebody who should be up for the Heisman. He should be in the top 5, and you're going to get a Heisman caliber player playing in that stadium. And I think he's deserved that. And not only are you getting a Heisman caliber player, you're getting a Heisman caliber person. He's an unbelievable person. He signs autographs for 20 to 30, 50 people after every game. He'll stay out there as long as possible. He's one of the smartest kids on our team. He ran a run the other day. He ran backwards, realized he shouldn't have done it, and then threw the ball away. What kid has the awareness to throw, even though it was not exciting for me. What kid has the awareness to not panic, but actually make an intelligent decision, which is crazy, and throw the ball away in that setting? Whether we want him to do it, that's a different topic. That just tells you the awareness level that kid has, the intelligence, and the fact that he walks into the high school state championship last night. It was his idea because he wanted to give back to the community. What else would you want in a person? And I'm just so happy for him to get the national recognition he deserves.
All right, Vince, we'll go ahead with the last question here, and then I'm going to kick it back over to Gary for any closing comments.
All right. And Coach, by the way, your car hitting the deer comment drew a pretty good laugh from my wife here in the background. But the question I had for you is talking about money, NIL money. It's no secret that other parts of the country, other schools, other conferences have traditionally drawn a lot more financial support. Have you noticed a big difference, a spike, you personally, with pushing the Sun Angel Collective since, the 10th game of the season, the 11th game of the season till now? And what can we do to help? Most of us here are local.
Yeah. I've been trying to push it probably as much as, if not more than any head coach in the country, because I think it's my obligation to my players to work for them. My job is to help them get what they want and succeed in life. And that's literally my job as their coach. And for us, those kids want to be here. And it's unfortunate that those kids want to be Sun Devils, and some of them are going to have to face they're going to have to face questions of, do I want to be a Sun Devil more than I want another $300,000? And I think these kids want to be here. And I think if this community wants a winner and wants to continue to have a winner, then they're going to have to step up and continue to step up, because they already have stepped up. But the only unfortunate thing is we keep winning. And it's funny how when you keep winning, it gets more expensive to win. It's amazing how that happens. And the more we win, the more people are going to offer our players, and the more we have to understand the investment that's needed to keep our roster here. But I can say this: everybody can see it, and it's clear. Our guys are passionate about ASU. Our guys still sing the fight song. They all know the fight song. They're singing it on the plane. They're walking out on the field in Arizona high school game, hoisting the trophy. These guys are passionate about being here, in more of an old school college football mantra of, they have passion for this university and this school. And I just hope we give the resources to this program that can allow us to keep this roster together and see how far this team can go in the future.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Coach. And then Gary, any final comments on your end?
Yeah, just thanks to you, Kenny and Jeremy, for hosting this. And we look forward to hosting you reciprocally here in Atlanta, in the capital of college football. I'll tell you a quick story for the media as well. Back in December 30th, 1970, Frank Kush and the Arizona State Sun Devils were number 8 in the country, and none of the big bowls at that time would take them. And the Peach Bowl brought Frank Kush and the Sun Devils here to play North Carolina, and the Sun Devils won 48-26. Vince Dooley was there because his brother, Bill Dooley, was the head coach of North Carolina. And in the first quarter, it rained. Second quarter, it sleeted. Third quarter, it snowed. In the fourth quarter, it iced. And the people from Phoenix said, hey, it's 80 degrees out there in Scottsdale. Why don't we start one of these? And out of that, the people from Phoenix started to meet with the people from Atlanta, and the Fiesta Bowl was created out of that. So kind of a neat story of the relationship between the Valley there and Atlanta. And, I still remember Vince Dooley, who has passed away, said, Gary, I was so cold, I had to leave my own brother. I was on the sidelines. I had to leave and go home. I was so cold. So, but Kenny, we promise you 72 degrees. We're in a dome stadium now, so you and the media don't need to worry about freezing at the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. But again, we look forward to hosting the media. We're a very hospitable city in Atlanta, and it's a great time of the year to be here. Great hotels and walking distance to a lot of the great facilities. And Kenny, anything you need, let us know.
Awesome. Thanks so much, guys. Local media, just real quick, we're going to do Kenny's weekly media availability at the facility at noon tomorrow. So it'll be just like a normal week. So just know that going into tomorrow. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kenny.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kenny.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kenny. Congrats.
Thank you too.
Yeah. All right, Jeremy.